Something came up on my heart this morning that I thought was a very interesting and valuable topic to talk about, just to answer the question. So I had a vision of a few people watching videos that I made on a couch on YouTube, and I said something that had a discouraging tone about something that they did. So I never mention names whenever I talk on video about people. I just talk about situation. Maybe someone says, well, it's kind of obvious, people can figure out who that is. Well, I don't think it is obvious as you might think, but so I'm seeing like this interrelated structure in my head where all the parts are connected to the other parts of what I want to talk about, and there isn't really a good starting point. So kind of bear with me as I start, but then I'm going to have to connect the points together. So, as typically as people are talking, your brain is kind of piecing together meaning and intent while you're talking, but I'm going to jump around the points because I have to in this structure, because everything's interrelated. Okay, so people destroy me, completely destroy me to other people. And I walk into a room or something. I walk into a house where there's a party going on, and I'm not typically invited to things, so it's rarely that I actually show up, because I see pictures of things going on, but I never actually get invited to anything. And sometimes I do, and so I show up. But then there's I walk into a wall. I walk into a wall of body language. I can see that even though people haven't seen me 10 years, however long, that there's this already active, thriving idea about who I am. And they're not good ideas. And when I confront people that are basically the only people left to have done that, it's not just that they're the only people left. It's very complex, what I'm seeing, that there's the way that people are trying to basically defend a conversation that they had without me there, and a conversation that they're having when I'm there. You're trying to make something okay, and trying to bring it up saying oh yeah, we were talking about you, without saying that we were talking about you. You're just trying to get me to agree with your opinion, and saying it that's what I think, So it's really obvious that people are talking about me behind my back and destroying me behind my back, and I'm walking to a wall of body language that represents this whole world that they created to me, because they have been talking and talking and talking and talking about me, and they're making an image in people's minds, and then the actual physical person shows up into the image of their mind, and now it makes them very uncomfortable, because now they're trying to figure out oh, how do I have a relationship with this guy that's done all these bad things, So that's how things have been basically for a while, since I've been old enough to be Adam, kind of like this independent guy that's not considered a child, where you're gonna, do you like that guy or do you not like that guy, or whatever, right? And it's funny because I study sociology, I study psychology, I study neuroscience, I study people, and most of my actual work that I do, and mostly in secret, it revolves around helping people, right? And I have to know really complex, intricate things of what's going on to be able to help people. And people know that about me, that I am really interested in people. So I think there's kind of an expectations that I should always be the one that comes to them, right, in any situation. But it's when this was brought up in my heart, and I'm seeing this image in my mind of people perceiving me talking about what they're doing, in this very intense, I cannot does he not even care? He's alienating us. People's actions towards me around other people in the past have done something to me. It's, there were times that I'm hurt, but you have to understand that I go through this again and again and again and again. If I were going to be a person that's hurt, I would be hurt like all the time, right? So it just changes your perception and your environment, the way that you feel connected to people, and then that changes your conversation. So me seeing this vision in my mind is what's causing me to analyze, this happening, right? So I'm talking about it, so it's kind of weird. It's like, you knew about it. Well, not really. But seeing that vision in my mind of people feeling like I'm alienating them introduces a new dynamic, and now I can talk about what's happening in that dynamic. And it's that I basically don't feel connected to people the same way that they might feel connected with me, right? Because to them, they basically have unlimited chances for their worldview to operate this way. It seems anyway. There's not unlimited chances, because if you keep hurting somebody throughout the years, they have to adjust to it somehow. The way that I have adjusted, there was a time when I was feeling like really dismal when people, that are supposed to be close to me and gang up on me, and they get together in groups and gang up on me as though like I'm some kind of like big monster entity walking into the room, and they need to group together to fight me. Like, I can understand people's situation if I'm intellectually overwhelming, and on top of that they consider me to be the one that they're like children, and I am supposed to one that's go out and make things right. But like, I'm also human, and I have to like actually live, right? I can't be subject to what people make me, because I have to live my life. So I'm disconnected from situations and feelings like that in this intensity, because people talk about me all the time and they don't say good things, but I'm never around, so I don't. How are you saying anything at all? But it's oftentimes when what's actually occurring is when people are finding about things that are making me successful, and there's a relationship there where then people will make me unsuccessful in the conversations and talk about the things that I'm doing wrong. So, they keep trying to keep me back here and then put themselves back up here. And I think when I confront people about this situation, they deny it. Very confident that no, we never do that. Never. We do not talk about you, right? It's a lot of energy put into it to make a very strong point, a lot of effort to communicate a different dynamic. But the thing is, that's not true, because I run into this all the time. So, people are destroying me behind my back. They do talk about me behind my back. I find it concerning, really, that people would make these strong points. No, we do not do that. When you do it, because basically you can keep doing it, and you never have to answer to yourself for it, even if I bring it up to you. When I bring something up, you only think about all the good things that you've done, and you disconnect yourself from all the bad things, but then you continue to go out and do the bad things that you're saying you don't do. But then you can very confidently say that you don't do bad things. It's weird. Like, I'm not convinced. I don't know what to do with it, other than, what I'm doing right now is I'm talking about that particular instance of it. So, but my worldview has shifted, basically, that my close friends and family is everyone on the world, right? Everyone in the world is my close friends and family. So now this is what I'm talking about, that this is interconnected to my view. So the way I talk is not just a representation of the way that I'm perceived in talking, is not just a representation of how people have their worldview comes off to them, but it's also shifted by my own. So I'm not being mean or petty because I'm basically always around family, right? Whoever you are, when I look at and I meet a person, I'm not a stranger. I'm not seeing strangers. I'm seeing someone that is beautiful and amazing, and they are like, Dave. This is like Dave. This is, Janice. It's, if I'm meeting them for the first time, they're someone that I love very much, framed in this light of, and a lot of complex details that look like family, right? So I'm always talking in the worldview that I'm talking to family, right? I'm not giving out details of who I'm talking about, and I find it necessary to actually discuss situations. So, and now that's contrasted to another worldview where only a few people are your close friends and family. You have unlimited chances for that worldview to remain. So you can see that, like, I'm not being mean because my worldview is different, but I'm mean twice. I'm twice as mean because your worldview is not like mine, and I'm not concerned about saying that on camera, what somebody has done. So, yeah, that's why. That's answering that question. Why how are you so bold in that you feel that you can just like alienate people by describing exactly their negative behavior on camera in front of everyone? It's that's why. We need to discuss things that are going on. A lot of, and here's another like dynamic that's interconnected that shifts the focus and shifts the meaning of all the data when you're looking at it simultaneously, is that people behaviors where they're unloving and unkind to other people often have a kind of like, they're kind of tactical about it, right? Where they're trying to get something out of being unloving and unkind for themselves. What they're not actually expecting people to do is for it to be spoken about. And that's why you should get on camera and talk about what they're doing. Because that's the one thing that they have no defense. If you actually just talk about what people are doing and other people are educated about those tactics, they just can't use them anymore. So, but, as far as my worldview is concerned, it's like, it's never going to go back to what it was. If that where things are, where you have a specific group of people that are close friends and family, and basically the rest of the world can eat dirt if they have to. That's never coming back, because it's a evolution when you're overcoming hurt and not sitting in there. It's in me anyway, at least, it's an evolution towards expectations of where the future is going. And I'm very confident that the future is going there, but whether it does or it doesn't, it's a future that I want it to go to. And so I'm going to act like everyone's family anyway, right? But it's like, to be clear, so no one tries to isolate me, and it's never coming back. Like, it's gone. That type of relationship where there's only a few people, it's gone. Because it's just really serious, man, and everyone keeps ganging up on you again and again and again and again and again, and they destroy you, and they make sure that you have a little place. You don't have an equal place, you have a little place, and then they talk big about themselves, and then bring everything that they're doing in, and then they create these relationships. Like, it's really sick. It's really sick. But yes, that's never coming back. So it's not good to begin with. The thing is, we're not living in a healthy society. So while it may seem like this very shockingly mean thing that I'm doing, the fact is what I'm doing actually represents a way that society will operate when it's healthier. That we can have open conversations about things that people are doing and not actually calling out the actual people that are doing them. And whether or not people can logically deduce it or not, that's, just don't do bad things. But simultaneously, it helps everybody, because it's typically not going to be isolated to a few people in the world where that's, that are acting like that. But so that concludes everything I wanted to say. Thanks.